10 a.m., 11. Okay, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I started to get hungry. Go to the next slide, please, Luanda. Sorry, I was getting really hungry, but I still had to wait until 5 o'clock to call Brendan. So I went to a restaurant that I found on the same street as the hotel, and I realized I couldn't understand anything. I couldn't understand the menu. I couldn't understand the signs because everything was written in Japanese, right? Nothing was in English. But I was really hungry, so I couldn't think, how can I go to another restaurant? You know, probably the next restaurant is the same. They don't have an English menu. So finally, what did I do? I took the waiter, garçon, by the hand, and I took him outside the restaurant, because outside the restaurant, they have a case with many plastic models of the food. And I pointed to one thing in the middle. And the one sentence that I could remember in Japanese was, kore o kudasai. This I want, or this, please. So that was it. I pointed to the dish in the middle, a plastic model, and the guy said, oh, hi. Yes. He went inside. He cooked this bowl of noodles. In 5 minutes, I had a beautiful bowl of noodles. And then I saw the bill, which I received, which was about $10. Okay, it was a little expensive for a simple bowl of noodles, but all right. So I wasn't hungry anymore. I went back to this park. I sat in the park. It was getting colder and colder. So finally, 5 o'clock. Next slide, please, Luanda. So I took my little notebook and I found a payphone. In Japan, they have many green payphones. You need to use a lot of coins or a special card. So I put all my coins in this telephone box, and I tried to call the number that I copied in my notebook, Brendan's number. And I heard a very old woman say, moshi moshi, which is hello in Japanese. Of course, I could understand, moshi moshi. So I said, moshi moshi, Brendan-san. And the woman said something like, wakaranai, I don't understand. What? That was the wrong number. That was not Brendan's house. So I thought, oh my
no.
God, what am I going to do now? I don't have the correct number. Oh, okay, so I decided to wait 30 minutes. So I waited 30 minutes, and because I'm a very intelligent person, I called the same number again after 30 minutes. And I heard the same voice, moshi moshi, the same old woman. And I said, moshi moshi, Brandon-san, kudasai, please. No, wakaranai, I don't understand. Oh my God. So by that time, 5 p.m., it was already dark because it was the beginning of winter. So I tried to get a taxi because at least I had the address. Brendan's address was written down in my notebook. But the addresses in Japan are very complicated, right? They have like a baiho, a neighborhood, then they have a street, then they have an alley, then they have some like 3 or 4 different numbers. The first thing is the taxis, they didn't stop. They just kept going by. Nobody stopped for me. Brendan told me later that many of the taxi drivers are afraid of the foreigners, gaijin, like me, estrangeiros, because the taxi drivers in general, they don't speak English. The foreigners don't speak Japanese. So the taxi drivers would like to avoid picking up a foreigner. But finally, after about 30 minutes, one taxi driver stopped. And all the taxi drivers in Japan, they wear white gloves, right? So it's very different. So I got in the taxi, and the driver started driving, right? He was looking at the address. He put the coordinates in his GPS. I didn't have GPS. I didn't even have a cell phone, but we started driving, and we continued driving 10 minutes. I could see the meter going. I was spending more money in the taxi. I didn't know where we were. And finally, the taxi driver stopped. And I said, oh, finally, we have arrived at Brendan's house. No, the taxi driver got out and went into a police station. I said, what is going on? And then I realized the taxi driver is lost. He's asking for directions inside the police station. So, of course, the meter in the taxi is still running, right? I can see $20, $25, $30. Oh, my God. So,
Gosh,
all right,
it gets worse and worse.
it's only my first day in Japan, but finally the taxi driver comes back. He's smiling. He's bowing to me. He gets in. He drives 5 more minutes, and we arrive. Brendan's apartment has a bumper sticker on the door, Michael Dukakis for president in English. Finally, I'm home. I see Brendan. It's 9:30 p.m. I was trying to find Brendan's house for 4.5 hours, but I arrived. Brendan said, "Wow, I thought you were not coming. I was getting ready to give up." Anyway, to finish this story, the next day I was walking in the neighborhood near Brendan's apartment, and after 5 minutes walking, I came to the hotel where I stayed the previous night. So I don't know if you can
Five
understand me.
minutes
Only
walking.
5 minutes on foot, I saw the same hotel where I was staying. So I don't think the
No
taxi driver,
way.
I don't think the taxi driver was trying to cheat me, because the Japanese are very honest. I think the taxi driver was honestly lost, but I ended up paying, I think, $40. So $10 for the noodles that I ate, $40 for my first taxi. I spent $50, and this is after I saved money in the U.S. for 1 year. I had $1,500.